Night Dreams Talk Radio, After Dark, wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show.
And again, to all the truckers, I want to thank you, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here right now behind this microphone. So I just want to say you do a lot for this country, more than a lot of people realize. James, are you still out there in the background? Because you've been really quiet, my friend.
I am still out here, and I just want to say one quick thing. You guys were talking about how us as a nation, a people, we're only concerned about us and our relevant area or our lives. And I do believe that the government, powers that be or whatever, they do have a team of psychologists, psychiatrists that do algorithms, and they know this. They know how we think. So they use our weakness as a whole on an average against us. And along with that, there's a lot of distraction going on. Like they make you focus over here while they're doing other things over there. I'm sure you've noticed that too, Gary.
I have. How about you, Tom?
He's spot on.
Yeah. I mean, that's right now. It seems like a whole whatever you hear in the news is so. I don't even want to look at the news. That's why I started doing the wacky news. I want the funny side of the news. I don't want to report the news anymore, because I tell you, there's nothing happy in the news. It's seriously. I mean, it's all about impeachment. If it wasn't impeachment, we don't hear about the wall anymore, do we? Now it's about impeaching Trump. Now, again, I voted for Trump. I don't like some of the things he's done. I have liked some of the things he's done. But I got a funny feeling that our society has crumbled a lot, because look what happened to Nixon. You know, look what happened to Clinton when they started in with him. Of course, they didn't pursue it all the way. The Senate just kind of threw it out. But, I mean, Nixon got caught in far less problems, and he knew he was going to be impeached. He was going to be taken out of office. So, I mean, he had Gerald Ford pardon him and all that stuff before he left, just to protect himself, because he knew what was going to happen. I don't understand the people in our country anymore. I really don't. I worry about people so much, how, you know, the aliens coming from different countries coming into our country, how they're treated. They're treated like animals now. It's scary what's happening in this country, and people are turning their backs. I'm sorry, I'm not a political show, but this really frustrates me, what all is going on. But again, we can spend money, you know, and rob it from the Air Force, which now they're sweating bullets because there's a base in Alaska that their boiler is about ready to go, and they don't have the money to fix it. If their boiler goes, they have to shut the whole base down. That means less protection from our country in case anything ever happened with Russia, you know, with their bombers flying close by. So we have that issue. Well, they took the money to build the wall. Now, the wall has been proven that people are coming through it like nothing. So what has that accomplished? Our grid system is where we should be putting money, if anything, in case we get a flare or anything, and keep our society going. Because if we lose our power, what's going to happen to our country? It matters. You were in law.
$1.5 billion a week in our military in the Middle East, and $2 billion would fix the grid system.
Oh yeah,
and that's a drop. That's a drop in the bucket.
Now, you were in law enforcement. You know how people's minds think. If our society, our power goes out, and it won't be for a day, it won't be. Now, there might be some pockets across the country where they still have their power, but overall, the country is going to just shut down. What is going to happen to society? How long is it going to take when the trucks can't come in to deliver food? When, you know, the last hurricane that came in, you know, back a month ago, the stores were sold out in a matter of hours of food.
Less than 3 hours, you'll have complete chaos and anarchy.
Yeah. And how is the police going to respond? They're not going to be able to handle it.
They're going to go home.
They're going to think.
When it got so bad in Katrina, when Katrina hit, almost the entire Nolens Police Department picked up and went home because they went home to protect their families.
Yeah, That the same thing happened. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Well, that's when they called in the National Guard, and then the National Guard was federalized. They actually came under a federal mandate, and that's when they started going house to house, all in the name of peace and love, I'm sure, and started confiscating everyone's firearms.
Yeah. Scary, isn't it?
Well,
yeah, it is scary.
All I can say, Gary, is this. You're absolutely right about everything you said. Everything James said is true. But like I said, I'll tell you what makes me feel a little bit better in small frames of reference, and that is there are people like you, there are people like James, there are people like me, there are like the people in my band that realize what's going on. There's very spiritual people, and they're collectively putting the word out so that the light bulb comes on. So that, if you're misinformed, then it's easy to, what did Hitler say? Tell a big enough lie long enough, and pretty soon everybody believes it. And that's the problem. That's what we have, is that you have too many people that believe the big lie.
Right. And, here's the thing, too. Look at the evolution of the mindset just from Nixon to today. Now, you take that and then factor in, these are facts. The people as a whole, maybe 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 are followers and not leaders. So they're going to follow what they're told to believe. And the thing is, that system hasn't changed with the mindset. So, and the powers that be know these things. So that's a powerful tool to use to get what you want and get people to do what you want. And if it's nefarious things and things are bad are going to happen, like you were mentioning, Tom, there's going to be a lot of bad before there's good.
Well, James, you make a really good point, and that is that what they're doing is they're using a massive fear factor. They do it in this country. They do it in the UK. They're doing it in Canada. They do it in Mexico. They do it in South America. They do it in Europe. They do it all over the globe. Putin is basically telling his people that they have to be prepared for World War III. The Chinese are telling their people the same thing. So, yeah, when you take all that negativity and you globally cast it upon the populace, you can see the end result. And what I'm saying is that, fortunately, we still live in a country where I can exercise my right, and so can the band as a First Amendment, and talk about these things. And hopefully the light bulb comes on. And hopefully people realize that there is another way.
Right. And the mind's a powerful thing. And if you know how to manipulate it as a whole, that's a dangerous weapon. I mean, here's a perfect example. World War II, the Japanese soldiers that had never met American stuff, they were told and brainwashed that, we would capture them and eat them and do all kind of crazy stuff. They didn't know no better. So that's a perfect example of how you can plant things. And negativity as a whole, and I'm a firm believer, whatever you put out in the universe and words and thoughts will come back to you. So I always stay positive. But if you can take a nation as a whole and think negative, that's got to have a bad outcome somewhere.
Well, I remember, I hearken back to the Vietnam War, and people like Gary and I were basically indoctrinated with, we were the good guys and they were the bad guys, and everything that we had was good and everything that they had was bad, which when you really put that under a microscope isn't necessarily the case. But, yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying.
I can say it's scary. I mean, I want nothing but the best for everybody. But at this point in my life, going on 68 years of it, I look at what is going on right now, and I'm more concerned than I ever been. I really am, because we got so many negative things. Maybe something good might come, but I think we're going to be in, like you mentioned, for a rocky ride. I got a funny feeling if the government shuts down here at the end of the month, which is a good possibility. It can, from what's going on right now. that is going to put a hardship on a lot of people financially. Our economy, it could do major damage to our economy, depending on how long the government is shut down. So we got that going. We got all this stuff going on right now that it's so confusing. And people need to actually stop thinking, well, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat. No, they should think I'm American. And
I couldn't agree with you more.
I need to think about my family, your family, and your family's family. That's where they need it.
Or I'm a member of this global community.
Yeah. They need
as a human being.
They need to put an end to this right now and look at things, okay, and see how it's going. Because the way it's going right now, it's not going good. We're becoming a laughing stock world. We're becoming a joke worldwide. America is. We're not, how can I say it? We're not like we were 10 years ago, 20 years ago. We're not going to be, I hate to say it, we're not going to be, we might be a third world or a second world country very shortly, the way things are going. And we don't even realize it.
You want me to cast a little positive light on all of this for for just a minute?
Yeah, please do.
Please do.
Okay. Something really cool happened to the band collectively, and that is that I met a very positive shaman. His name was Harry, and he is a practicing Merkaba magician, and he works with the Merkaba. And if your listeners don't know what that is, it's if you basically took two three-sided pyramids and inverted one into the other. It's a cosmic symbol. It's a three-dimensional eight-pointed star, and it's made of two triangular pyramids, and one is pointed up and the other down. And what it does is it harmonizes both cosmic male and female energy, the yin and the yang. It's two-dimensional, and when you look at the Star of David, that's a two-dimensional version that King David had his armies put on their shields as a protection device. And one of the cool things that happened was, remember a few weeks back we were having some problems with negative energies affecting everybody, and it affected you too. I was introduced to Harry, the Merkaba shaman, and he cast prayers of protection for all of us and taught me about the Merkaba. And it's really a positive, cool thing. I think if your listeners have time and they'll look that up, they'll see that that's a really positive. It can be used in a very, very positive cosmic way to bring down positive energies into your life.
Interesting.
So it's not all negative.
Well, how, Tom, you're feeling? Be honest from your gut. Okay, where do you think we're going to be in a year from now as a country?
Honestly,